Welcome back to the one Celtic fans view. What a day it has been. What an absolutely fantastic day it's been. What an absolutely fantastic day it's been. It's one of those days that only come along now and again as a Celtic player and manager. And let's face it, when you are a Celtic player and you win these games, it's got to be said, you know, it's got to be said that when you win them, you take it in your just take it in your it's, tell me in the comments. Come on, help me here. Tell me in the comments what do you think about the game today. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Let me just do this. And we're on here. Skip. There we go. We're live. And just check that. We're live. That's it. I just shut this one down, shut that. Right, Helen, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. What a day. Big shout out to Sheeran's Pub and Guitar, who had put on fantastic hospitality today. What about Callum McGregor? What about Callum McGregor? Callum McGregor today gets man of the match. When was the last time? When was the last time that a Celtic captain got man of the match? Tell me that in the comments. When was the last time a Celtic captain got man of the match? Because I certainly can't remember the last time a Celtic captain got man of the match. And there we go. This is a better screen. Let's just close some of this. David Devlin says, hail, hail. Helen is in the house. 1888 CFC, you beauty. Weren't you the one who said last night, I'm not too confident about this? I did say last night, I said we would score 3-1. I had Palmer to score. I had Keel going. I had Matt O'Reilly to score. Now, the fact that Paulo Bernardo steps up and scores a goal. And what about the one from Kyogo? The one from Kyogo was an absolute screamer. It was an absolute screamer. I'm going to have a crisp when I'm hungry. Um, Callum McGregor getting man of the match. When was the last time Callum McGregor got man of the match? I, for one, have no idea. Chris Sutton took to Twitter afterwards and put on Twitter, he said, well, it's X, it's formerly known as Twitter. He said, if I was Todd Cantwell, I'd watch Callum McGregor DVDs. So, Callum McGregor had Todd Cantwell in his back pocket all day long. He had him in his back pocket all day long. It was unbelievable. I said right at the beginning of the game, 15 minutes into the game, I'm sitting in the pub and I'm sitting at the mates and I turned around to the missus and I said, look, I've never seen Callum McGregor have so much room in midfield. He's playing like Scott Brown used to play in midfield. Today he stood up to the mark and he controlled that midfield. He had Todd Cantwell right inside his back pocket. And it was nothing that there was nobody getting near anything that he could do today. And for him to get man of the match was unbelievably good. He's been listening to their meltdown. Rocky was impressive today, says Mike Powers, in a tough situation. You've got to feel for Welsh. You've got to feel for Big Welshie. Stephen Welsh signs a new contract and then he's out injured for the first half of the season. He then comes back to then go off with a dislocated shoulder. And you could see him. You could see him actually saying, "Just knock it back in, knock it back in." But he was taken off the pitch. Kyogo was an absolute master today. I mean, he was even coming back right into the middle of the pitch where people have saying, look, Kyogo shouldn't be back there. He shouldn't be back there. But he played perfect today. Kyogo played absolutely brilliant. Were the officials cheatings? We're cheating. The officials are all Fenians, no fans. Some of the comments are coming in now. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. My hearts are still jumping. 1888 says, CFC says, Iman, he'll not sleep tonight. I don't think I'll sleep tonight either. I think I'm going back to the pub, I think, once we've done this live. I thought I would do the live a little bit earlier than normal, but let's face it, the manager has been speaking about Brendan Rodgers has been talking about the one and only Callum McGregor. Captain Marvel, he said, after that Derby win. For me, Brendan Rodgers said something in the press conference the other day. He said, "This is the kind of game that players." He says it's the kind of game that players, when they get it right, they can go on and they can make a name for themselves at this club. They'll be rerun on DVDs for years to come. They'll be shown on Celtic highlights for years to come. These are the games that matter. These are the games that you've got to stand up. And every man to a T today absolutely stood up and they were if this is the best they've got, if this is the manager, right? If this is the manager that's going to come in for 56 or whatever it is they're trying to get, you better spin the globe because you better start looking around the world for a new manager because this manager is going to do the exact same as the managers that they've had over the last couple of years. And Brendan Rodgers eased back in to a Glasgow derby with that win today. I thought as a manager, he absolutely controlled the game. And it'll be interesting to see the excuses that other mob have. You've got to remember, they thought they were going to absolutely hump us today. Celtic have never been beaten 3 times in the one calendar month since 1994. If Brendan Rodgers was to have lost it, I said it last night. Look, I said it last night. I'm going to hold this bit of paper up again. This was my team from last night. This was the team from last night, and I did put down 3-1. I said in the video earlier, I said, and I had Palmer, Kyogo, and Matt O'Reilly to score. We didn't score the 3 goals, but we scored 2 with Kyogo scoring an absolute screamer. And instead of Matt O'Reilly scoring, Bernardo scored. Bernardo, Big Phil said Kyogo's goal was world class. Did he? Rangers fans making excuses already, says Sean. Green Machine says, did anyone see Goldson spit water over the Celtic strip on the wall as they were waiting to go out? Get the Portuguese boys signed up, says Liam. Liam's in the house. I have been saying to you, I've looked for a bit more from Paulo Bernardo as this season's went on. And I think today, stood up, big shoulders, chin up, chest out. He done it. He done it. And I think that was one of the fantastic things about the game today is most of the players turned up. Turned up. The exception would be for me would be Dyson Myra. I thought Dyson Myra, some of his decision. There's something wrong with Dyson Myra just now. He's just not at his best. He's not back to where he was. It was good to get Lila Bada back on the pitch. I thought we might have given some time to the one and only Rio Hatate, but Brendan Rodgers is aware that we've got an important run into the season. So bringing Rio Hatate in, although it might have been a bit premature, they don't want to risk him because it is going to be an exciting end to the season. We're going to win the league. We are going to win the league. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm going to put my money on it. I'll put the reputation of the channel on it. We will win the league. If that is the best they have, that's it. That's it. We've had our tough. I did go back to the beginning of December, and I did say at the beginning of December, I said, look, we will drop points. We will drop points. Historically, Celtic always drop at least 2 points in December. We always draw a game. But the fact that we lost 2 games was more than anybody could have anticipated. Anybody could never have seen Celtic dropping 2 games and to lose that. Is it a great way to end the year? Of course it is. It's a fantastic way to end the year. To beat them on our home turf. We were weak at the beginning of the season. Celtic were weak at the beginning of the season. We had a weakened defence. We had a weakened defence today again. And we won. No excuses. We decide. We decide when we win. We decide when we lose. And it comes down to it. Celtic just get up, dust themselves off and saying, this is how you do it, lads. They had absolutely nothing today. Todd Cantwell was in the back pocket of our captain all day long. James Dillon says, that's the answer to the Huns question. Will Abada play for us again? They got their answer, James. Listen, I've said for a while now, ever since Brendan Rodgers went out and come out publicly and said, look, he went out for dinner with Lila Bada and he went out to see the mindset of the player and make sure that he was okay. The player will not be leaving Celtic. Lila Bada will not leave Celtic. And the snow is falling all around us. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's the season of fun and love and Merry Christmas. but the Huns. Anyway, right, get back to that. I only done that because I seen the comments that were coming up. That was from B. Welcome to the channel, B. C says Rogers deployed a very aggressive approach today, and it was needed. We bullied them. Brendan Rodgers knows how to win these games, right? A lot of people have been giving Brendan Rodgers stick since he came back to Celtic. For me, it's one. It's like let him just. He's coming at a different time. Let's talk about the manager for a minute. He's coming at a different time from his first time at Celtic. When he first came in at Celtic, he took over a team in the form of Ronnie Dyler. Now, Ronnie Dyler had a fantastic few seasons at Celtic. He kept on winning the league for us, and he maintained that level of dominance in Scottish football. He came in, and all he had to do was take a winning format and make it better. He had to make the team better, and he got to spend some good money. Brendan Rodgers the first time round. He's coming into Celtic this time, and where are the lookers today? Smell the glove. There's none. There's none. I can see you. No, we can't. Where's no name today? Anyway, when Brendan Rodgers has came in this time at Celtic, and when you look at it, we're in a different place. When Brendan Rodgers came in the first time, we were on the road to 9 in a row. We knew that Brendan Rodgers could potentially be here for 9 in a row. We knew that that was the aim for the club. Nobody was stopping Celtic at that time on the march to 9 in a row for the second time. You remember, it's the second time that we have achieved 9 championships in a row. Coming in this time, we've won a double. Right, we won a double and then we won a treble. The manager has come in and he's working to me. He's working under different parameters. Brendan Rodgers is definitely working under different parameters this time around. I don't think he's going to have the money to go out and spend on a £10 million player, a £9 million player. I just don't think that that's the Celtic way just now. Celtic want to be banking as much money as they can. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, we're sitting with 70 to 100 million in the bank. Brendan Rodgers knows the parameters of the club has changed since his first time here. We're now going to have to go out and buy players between the 3 and 5 to 6 million pound bracket, and then turn them into absolute superstars. Can we turn Paolo Bernardo into a superstar? Yes, we can. Matt O'Reilly for me, he's just went up and up and up. Matt O'Reilly is now not worth just 25 million to Celtic. He is worth 40 to 45 million to Celtic, purely for the fact that he'll get us into the Champions League. We get the 60 million from the Champions League. That's on Matt O'Reilly's shoulders. That is all on Matt O'Reilly's shoulders. He is the type of player. He's going to be at Celtic. He knows what it's like to play for Celtic now. He gets Celtic. Matt O'Reilly gets Celtic. He gets us, and that's what's going to keep him at Celtic for a good while. And when he does go, he'll go with our wishes, and he'll go for an awful lot of money. When you look at it, Tag's post-game interview, he's disappointed. I bet he is. He's disappointed. How many times have they said that over the last couple of seasons? It's got to be, I don't even want to talk about them. Calmack and Taylor O'Reilly were the Derby stars today. I've got to say it, even Taylor, there was one downside of Taylor's game today. He should have taken a couple of shots just when he was on the edge of the box. There was one time that he actually managed up, and I was like, Taylor, my God, you're away to position. And he made a fantastic run to the edge of the box, and then the ball doesn't get past to him. You're absolutely kidding. Stephen Cassidy, hi, good evening to you. I am using a different platform tonight, Stephen, so I can't put your names up on the screen, unfortunately, unless no, you can't put them up on the screen. I need to work out how to do this on OBS. So, although I can't get your comments and that up on the screen just now, I will be able to in the future, I'm sure, once we sort out this OBS system. Anyway, let's get to some of the comments. San Francisco sums up this as Sevco career. Talking about Cantwell, Barry Lawless says, "Hail, hail, brothers! Proving who we are. We are champions. Can't wait to the new year and some new signings." The only one thing that I will say about the new year and signings is I don't think it's going to be as exciting as what we would hope for. Brendan Rodgers does want to bring in some experienced players. I think Celtic will be lucky to bring in 2 or 3 players. I can see maybe 4 or 5 players leaving Celtic in the January. But we'll talk about that in videos. We'll talk about that in the new year. Let's enjoy the moment. We are going to have the most fantastic next couple of days. We are ending 2023 on a complete high. The dominance of Scottish football is not over. They wanted the domination of Scottish football to end in tears today in front of our own fans. Have you blocked Marty Boy? No, I've not blocked Marty Boy. No, I've not blocked Marty Boy. Liam, no, I've not blocked Marty Boy. Definitely not. Support the channel, Baz, the channel, hail, hail, guys. Another show of Celtic domination in Scotland. Yes, Sean, I've said it before. It is the domination of Celtic, and it is going to continue. I think one of the good things about it is they expected us to crumble today. They thought that they were a team that were on the rise. They would just brought in a player that's on 37 grand a week. They're saying that he rejected Celtic. Celtic had their own Portuguese superstar today that Celtic have the option to buy. They have the option to buy, and he has the option to buy Paulo Bernardo, and I think Celtic should take up that option. I did say we'll pass judgment on Paulo Bernardo until this time of year. He stepped up to the mark today, and let's see what Paulo Bernardo could do towards the second end of the season. Paulo Bernardo was interviewed after the game with the one and only Callum McGregor. And Callum McGregor said, look, he says, we played fantastic for 70 minutes. When they got a player sent off, we didn't dominate the game as much as what we should have. I said during the game, towards the end of the first half, when we're sitting at the pub, I was like, this mob are playing like Livingston. And I was like, they went into basically a back five and a back four. And they're playing like Livingston. They went right back. This is how good Celtic are just now. People are saying, oh, it's the side-to-side passing football, passive stuff from Brendan Rodgers. We pushed them right back. We made them look like Livingston. We make them look like St. Johnstone. We made them look like Dundee. We made them look like Aberdeen. We made them look what they are. Absolutely woeful. And that all comes down to the manager. The manager had to make a few tactical changes today when Stephen Welsh was taken on. Rocky comes in out of cold storage and doesn't put a foot wrong. I've got to say that Rocky, the player that we bought for over £4 million, is a player that has to be staying at Celtic. And I said that in the video, should players stay or go. I said Rocky is a player that should be staying at Celtic, has to be given his chance. Nobody expected Liam Scales to be as dominant as what he has been this season. And it's hats off to Liam Scales. Liam Scales, again, today, he had probably had the quietest game that he's ever had. He's probably had the quietest game. Anyway, the Huns are all diving off the painted bridge right now. San Fran Celtic, yes, they did paint a bridge in the colours of the France colours. They painted the France flag on a bridge in Glasgow. Anyway, James Smith says, yes, come on, you boys. Around the Zombies, glad that I got it wrong. James, you were on the channel last night saying that we were doomed. We were doomed. I told you last night, and I did put it down. There is my score sheet from last night. Well, it wasn't a score sheet, it was my team sheet. And pretty much got the team right, apart from the goal scorers. I did say that Kyogo would score, and I also said it would be 3-1. 3-1. I said it would be 3-1. When you look at the performances of Celtic over the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to particularly look at the amount of chances and shots on goal that we've had. The amount of shots on goal that we've had and the amount of shots off target. I said yesterday, look, if we can take at least half of that into this game today, we will score 2-3 goals, at least. We will score 2 or 3 goals. And that's why I went for 3-1. And I knew that they would get at least one goal. I thought they were going to get a penalty. It was by the grace of God, Chris Boyd is still crying just now. Penalty Rangers. Anyway, even when I saw it back, straight away I thought it's a penalty. He's hit it with his hand. He's hit it out of his hand. But what we didn't see was the 2 Rangers players offside. We didn't see that 2 players offside. So that was the only sort of downside of the bit of the game that I thought. We got away with one there, but it was because the players was offside. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments here. Joe Hart conceded another goal from a free kick. Liam, Liam, you know my thoughts now. We do need a new goalkeeper in. We need a goalkeeper in just to make sure that um, we're better in Europe. It was interesting to see that Chris Boyd said before the game on Sky Television. He said that look, Celtic brought in Brendan Rodgers and they're no better in Europe. We got 4 points in Europe this season. We got 1 point in the Champions League with Ange Postecoglou playing all the fantastically fast and attacking football and that. So from my perspective, we have done better in the Champions League this season. We got put out the Scottish Cup early. That come a bit too early for Celtic, but what that does do is it lets us get that motivation. Beating Feyenoord was an important game for Celtic. People will say it's a dead rubber game. It was a dead rubber game. It wasn't a dead rubber game. It was an important game for these players that are currently at Celtic. And you've got to remember that these players are pretty much new to this experience of the Champions League. Going forward, all it's going to do is make sure that this team um, knows that it has what it takes to win at that higher level. And this is why it's important going on towards the end of the season. We can still do the double. The double can still be on. You know, it would be a fantastic if you asked me at the beginning of the season, would you take a double with the Scottish Cup? And I'll always take the Scottish Cup. I will always take the Scottish Cup over the League Cup. Because the League Cup's it's a cup that you can do it and it's a treble. It's fine. But the main one, the big one, is the Scottish Cup. The Scottish Cup for me to finish the season at Hampden and win the Scottish Cup. It just makes your summer. It makes your summer. It makes everything good and everything rosy in the garden, and it makes you look forward to the new season. Winning the league now, we need to go on, and I think that we'll win the league probably maybe about 8 points maximum. It won't be any more than that. It'll still stay tight to the end of the season. If they win their games in hand, they're only 2 points behind us, but I think we will go on a run. We will go on a fantastic run. And we will win the league. We will win the league this season. I'm pretty confident of that. It doesn't matter who they buy in. It doesn't matter who they buy in at all. All that matters now is that Brendan Rodgers gets rid of some of the deadwood in the club, and he brings in players that he thinks that can take us to that next level in Europe. Docboy67 says that he'll be happy with just the league. I'd be happy with the league as well, but I want the cup double because I've been at Hampden many times over the years. I've probably counted. I've got tickets up here actually, up there. I've been to Hampden that many times. I hate it as a stadium, but there's no better way to finish a season and go to Hampden and win the Scottish Cup. Never mind the cup, mate. The 60 million means a lot more. The 60 million does mean a lot more. That's why Matt O'Reilly, to me, is a 30, 40 million pound player. If we lose him, it's going to take 30, 40 million to replace him to make sure that we consistently play at that higher level. Bringing Hatate back is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Everyone's saying we need a good transfer window. When you look at that team we played today, right, they're bringing in a player that's on 37 grand a week. Brendan Rodgers didn't want to go for him because we couldn't buy him. Brendan Rodgers wants to bring in 3 players in the transfer window, 3 players that we buy. So that when we buy the players, we bring them in and they're going to be Celtic players. We are looking forward to the Champions League campaign. We are looking forward to the Champions League campaign. And that's why I think it's imperative that we buy the players that are coming in. Bringing in loan players is just not what we need. They're just bringing in another Aaron Ramsey. They showed their level today. If that's the best that they have, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. Not worried about the season going forward. Anyway, Hatate, Abata, back into the game. They're game changers, definitely. When you look at Matt O'Reilly into the mix, when you look at Lua Palma, he's going to have a fantastic end to the season. If any player that's going to get dropped, I think it could probably be Dyson Maida. I think Dyson was the weaker link in that team today. Everyone got pass marks. Everyone got pass marks in that team today. But just when little things in the game, I thought Dyson Maida, his passing was defending wise coming back. He was absolutely fantastic. Right, let's look on Twitter and see what's happening in the land of the Twitter. Todd Cantwell needs to watch DVDs from Callum McGregor, the intense, the sense of entitlement from that lot for the obligatory penalty, but Clement, his players were offside. Clement, he went on. He was asked by journalists. I'm not even going to talk about them. What is the point? They go back under the rocks that they came from. When you look at it, it was a magnificent performance today by Callum McGregor, Paulo Bernardo, Liam Scales. Were giants in the game. Liam Scales had probably his quietest game at Celtic. I thought he's just such a fantastic player. He's turned his career around. I never thought I'd see the day when one player would have such a turnaround in his career. Such a turnaround in his career. I mean, it's been fantastic to watch this season. He was on his way back up to Aberdeen, for goodness sake. Let's get to some of the comments. Mikey Johnson was woeful. Yep. Um, I don't want to talk about Mikey Johnson because it's Mikey Johnson. I thought it was the wrong person to bring on, but anyway, we'll get over it. Clement was better at TikTok than football. Yes, Clement got buried in the cement today. No, the clementine got picked from the tree and put back in the ground. That's what the clementine got. It's all positive, says Sean. We have the skill, we have the class, we have the attitude to do this again this season. Our midfield won the game masterclass, says Kieran. I've got to go back to it. I said to my missus' mates when we were in the pub, 15 minutes into the game, I said, there's only one winner of this game today. Callum McGregor was getting so much space in the midfield. And even though he was getting tracked by Todd Cantwell is nowhere near the quality of Callum McGregor. Now, people have been giving Callum McGregor a lot of stick over the last couple of weeks. And it's like, Callum McGregor, he's been there and he's done it at Celtic. Do you know there's times where he stood up to the mark, and as a captain, he's the only person. He is the only person that could have walked into the captaincy after Scott Brown. He is the only person, right? He knows Celtic through and through. Like the song goes, he's like me and you, he loves the Celtic too. Everyone can have an off game, right? Callum McGregor, for a big part of this season, has been getting man marked. And when he gets man marked, people are trying to. And the reason Callum McGregor gets man marked is they're trying to nullify what he can do in the middle of the pitch. Today, he just went, I'm having none of that. I'm having none of that. And you knew that come the last 15, 20 minutes of the game, they're going to start going down like flipping some seaside gas cookers knickers. Anyway, let's move on to some of the comments. Pam says, I don't understand how Tonwell has fans. Pam, I'm beginning to think it's only fans he has. Dude, not fans. Liam says, Cantwell wouldn't get in my under 12s team in Chorley. Oh man, that's brilliant. Liam Scales, left back with Cameron Carter Vickers, Rocky as the centre backs, says Marty. Marty, that's a good shout, by the way. Although Greg Taylor had a good game today. Greg Taylor's got that pace that I'm going to say that Liam Scales doesn't have. So when you're trying to get people out on the wing, and when you're trying to get past them, I think that's the only thing that's keeping Greg Taylor in that position because he's got more pace than Liam Scales. That's just my take on it. But we're all entitled to our own take because it is the one Celtic fans' view. Right. How many thumbs up do we have on the video? We can't have only 4 thumbs up when there's 100 odd watching. 42 thumbs up. There's 247 people watching. Come on, get hitting the thumbs up for the video. Cantwell has fans on Grinder. Jesus God. Todd Cantwell. No, there's nothing. Each to their own. Each to their own. Each to their own. Anyway, what a day! What a day it has been. Wasn't a player that didn't do much wrong today. You've got to say, Callum McGregor. It is the first time. When was the last time? Tell me in the comments who was the last Celtic captain to get the match. Who was the last Celtic captain to get man of the match? Because I have no idea. And I can't remember the last time a Celtic captain got man of the match. I mean, going back to Celtic captains, we've got Scott Brown recently. I don't think Scott Brown ever got captain. I don't think Neil Lennon never got player of the day. Where's Lanky? I've no idea. They guys will still be at the football. They'll be on the piss. I don't think those players. I don't think Lenny ever got man of the match. I don't think Paul Lambert ever got man of the match. Before him, you're looking at Jackie McNamara. Did Jackie McNamara ever get man of the match? Kenny Miller? Kenny Miller. Kenny Miller was never. Danny McGrain. Was Danny McGrain the last Celtic to captain player, Celtic captain to get man of the match? It probably was. It probably was Clement Skeletor. There was a couple of guys in the pub saying that Clement actually looks like the Maestro. Did the Maestro ever get a man of the match as captain? You got to remember, Paul McStay was the captain at a bad time for Celtic. He was captain during the. In fact, was he even captain at that point? Because Tommy Burns was captain when he was about. Scott Brown at Ibrox when he scored. Did he get man of the match that day? Her neighbours are shouting home. Heard the door slamming shut. Phil looks like the old dude from One Foot in the Grave. Paul McStay. Yeah, a lot of people saying it's maybe Paul McStay. Paul Lambert. I don't think Paul Lambert ever got man of the match. Even the one when Paul Lambert scored that absolute screamer past Stephen Kloss. Stephen Kloss. I don't think he got man in the match that day. Anyway, that's a pub quiz team question. Do some googling. Cantwell can't do well. J.K. Rowling. Anyway, right. Let's see what so Celtic news. 100% gaming. Hail. Assure Brownie got man in the match at Ibrox. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. I would have been at the game, so I wouldn't have known if he got man in the match or not because I'd probably been on a bender. Callum McGregor, the Celtic site says Callum McGregor, a brilliant win and a brilliant performance by the players. I just watched the Callum McGregor interview before we came online. Callum McGregor was said that we played well, but we did take our foot off the pedal in the last 10 to 15 minutes. And Brendan Rodgers is in awe of Callum McGregor as the captain reaches a different level. Excuse me a second. During the game today, referee points fatal flaw in the VAR narrative. The fatal flaw. You do know that they're going to go down the road of. They're going to go down the road of it was a penalty Rangers all day long. It was penalty Rangers all day long, and they're going to say they're against us. They're against us. They took the wins first. They took the wins. They stole the cup. Anyway, they're going to vamos. Did you see Aitken? Roy Aitken must have some man in the yeah, Roy Aitken back in the days. That was back in the mid early 80s. When you look at it, what was I going to say? You're throwing with the comments. I'm reading the comments here. Chris Boyd, Kenny Miller, all on the BBC. You boys took one hell of a beating. You did that. That's what I was going to say. Did you see the Louis Palma speaking in Spanish to Brendan Rodgers after the game, which I thought was fantastic. I thought it was brilliant because Brendan Rodgers obviously does speak a lot of Spanish as well. He's actually fluent in Spanish. Right, before my throat goes completely, how long have we been on? I don't even know how long. Where are we? We're over here. And we've been on for 33 minutes. Wow, there you go. We've been on for 33 minutes. Right, I'm going to call it quits for tonight because I need to get back and see the good misses. And it is that time of year where you need to spend as much time with the loved ones as possible. Multiple subs was dodgy. They don't want an excuse. They haven't heard thousands of times before. I'm going to get in some of the comments first. No wall of complaints coming right up. Yeah, there will be. Give the big Drossers man of the match for laughter. Green Machine says it's not the referee that gets man of the match when Celtic win, according to the Rangers fans. James Smith says Stephen is a man who's pish. Hail. The boys said he's fluent in Italian. Also talking about Brendan Rodgers. Far too many bookings today. I'm not caring about I'm not worried about the bookings because let's face it, we were always going to get booked. They had to try and get one of our players sent off. When you look at the Lanarkshire Referees Association meeting that took place before the game to decide who was in VAR and who was in 10 men blew the league. 10 men didn't blow the league. 10 men were dominated by Celtic. Anyway, subscribe, thumbs up, laugh at Chris Boyd. Hail, says Sean McGarry. On that note, I'm going to end the stream here. It has been a fantastic day. What a fantastic win for Celtic today. There'll be a couple of videos going out tomorrow. There'll be a video going out tomorrow morning, but we'll do one final live of 2023. We'll do one final live of 2023 tomorrow. So we'll get as many people on that as possible. We'll talk about all things good, all things Celtic. And let's face it, we have owned this year again. We finished the year on a high. Everyone that come out of the chat, hit me up. Help your Tim out. Says see, Nifty 50 says Happy New Year to you all. Hail, hail. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hail, hail, troops.